Here are 3 simple steps that you can do to avoid probate. Let's dive in. Hey, my name is Greg, and I help people just like you simplify creating a trust to help protect their money, their family, and their legacy. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to avoid probate. So what is probate court? So probate court is a special court that handles estates and trusts when someone dies, and it ensures that the debts are paid. And if someone challenges the will, or if there's not a will in place, the court or the state can then step in and be the administrator of that estate. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that when you don't have a will or you don't have a trust set up, preferably a trust, that potentially your estate can go to probate court. Now, why is that? Because no one knows who to give your stuff to. All right. You may have children who may be the heirs. You may have a will, but the will can be contested, because if someone challenges the will and they say, well, no, I don't remember them doing that, or no, they weren't in the right state of mind when they wrote this, then that can cause a problem. Now, probate court can be very costly. For instance, Marilyn Monroe, a popular actress back in the day, when she died, her estate went to probate court, and it took years for them to settle her estate, and it cost millions of dollars to do so. So by the time the estate was settled, there wasn't much money, because the state had taken their fees. They had to appoint trustees or an administrator of the estate, and it just took a long time. You want to avoid having the state rule on who gets what property when you or a loved one dies. So the 3 steps that you can take today is, 1, you can set up a revocable trust. Now, a revocable trust, also called a living trust, is a trust that you would have to hold your property while you're alive. Another reason why probate can be bad is when you pass away, your family is going to be destroyed, and emotions are going to be running high. You may have some greedy people inside your family who want to take your money. They want to go through your stuff. So you want to make sure that you have somebody there that you trust that can handle your matters when you pass. So one of the first things that I would do is I would set up a revocable trust. Now, a revocable trust or a living trust is a trust that you set up while you're alive. And a revocable trust has 3 parts. It has the grantor, the trustee, and the beneficiary. You being a grantor, you're the one who creates the trust, and you'll create the contract with a trustee to say, hey, I want you to be the trustee of my trust, and I want you to make sure that whoever you pick as the beneficiaries gets my stuff when I pass on. So the trustee will have a duty to make sure that they follow the rules of the trust under the trust indenture, and that the beneficiaries get whatever is laid out inside the trust. That's the first step, is setting up a trust. So step number 2 would be to sell or transfer your property into the trust. So how do you do that? So you can simply write out a bill of sale of all of, let's say, your personal property. So your personal property would consider your vehicle, your jewelry, any designer handbags, that big screen TV you may have, things of that nature. You want to make sure that you have a bill of sale for everything, and maybe a short description of what it looks like. And then you want to transfer or sell it over into the trust. Bank accounts, you want to retitle them into the revocable trust. Some banks only allow you to retitle your bank account, your personal bank account, to a revocable trust. They won't allow a revocable trust most times, right? In investment accounts, you want to make sure that your trust is the beneficiary of that investment account. It'll just be easier to transfer the funds from that account into the trust, and also it will have some tax benefits for you to do so. Instead of it going directly to a person, now that person may have to pay the taxes on receiving that money. Then you want to make sure that you redeed your house into the trust. As long as it's a revocable trust, it shouldn't trigger the due on sale clause. Then the next thing is deeding the house into the revocable trust. So that's something that you can get together with a closing attorney or a title company to help you do. So the third thing that you need to do is create a pour over will. So a pour over will is created with a trust to make sure that it grabs any property, whether it's real estate or personal property, anything that you can think of after you die. So if you die and you have a pourable will, and come to find out you have a car in storage at public storage, 2 towns away, and they get a letter like, oh, the car's over here and it hasn't been put into the trust, well, that pourable will cover all of that stuff. You have a house in another state, the pourable will make sure that any property that you had that was in your name before you died is now absorbed into the trust. All right. I try to keep everything simple so you guys can understand, because sometimes this legal jargon, it's gonna make your head hurt because you have to try to figure out what they're talking about. Those are 3 things that you can do to help avoid probate and to keep your property private, and to make sure that you're able to pass down any property that you have down to your family. So whether it's your daughter, your granddaughter, you want to give it to charity, some people leave their stuff to their dogs, whatever you want to do, but that's how you would avoid the state putting their hands all into your business, at which I don't think anyone wants. All right. So if you find this video to be of value, please make sure that you like this video, hit the subscribe and the bell button so you know when I drop new videos. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you want to hear. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. I do respond, or I'll just make a video of it. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.